Hello, it is Thursday, and I am working on more chainmail. More about that later. I finished my spiral class that I talked about in the last video, and it too came out kind of wonky, but and original. I think it gives it character. It's not all perfect and no, that's a little bit wonky. That gives it a character, so there's that. And then I started on another, this is going to be a necklace, a chainmail necklace. At least I think it is. It might end up being a bracelet. I'm not sure. It's a chainmail piece. Might be a bracelet. It might be a necklace. At this point, it's in aluminum again, and it's 2 in groups of 3 and 2 in groups of 3. Now, I have totally rethought my opinion on people that do chainmail, because most people are like, oh, it can't be so hard just opening rings all day and closing rings. And why do why does this cost so much? And it's just rings. Well, having done a handful of these, I can tell you that it's not as easy as you may think. Yes, it's joining rings. It's joining rings with pliers, which wear on your fingers. I don't know if you can see. I've already got a callus there. Callus is here. Over and over and over. You're opening and closing these rings, which, even though these are aluminum, which I'd love to be working in silver. When people buy my aluminum enough, then I will be working in silver. So even though these are just aluminum, they are hard to open and close and open and close, and this many times. And that also, I also understand why they sell, as I said in my last video, why some ergonomic pliers are $70 a piece, because these that I got from Sheffield are meant for the occasional opening and closing of a jump ring to connect a piece of jewelry. These are not chainmail pliers. This is just a thin coating of rubber on these pliers. And after using them, just making this today, and of course the few clasps that I showed you, my hands are already full of calluses and they hurt. So that is why they make expensive tools, and that is why chainmail costs so much. When I make this is not going to be $5. Even though it's aluminum, this is a sturdier aluminum than the other pieces, number one, that I've made. Those were much thinner rings. They weren't the quality. This is a much thicker gauge. And also, at the bead store I went to, their chainmail section had, and I'll show you the packages I got from them. Their chainmail section was not sterling silver, and they have copper rings. But then, instead of silver and gold, what they have, all they have in their section of the store that I go to in Arlington, is brass and the silver ones are aluminum. And that's all in their chainmail section. And that is because you can get them in packages of 100, 150. They do have sterling silver and gold fill. However, those are in packages of about 5 each. Those are meant for joining jewelry together. for attaching a clasp on a necklace, things like that. They're not sold in quantities like this. At least not where I can see. So, if somebody contacts me and says they want, well, this is going to be much longer, obviously. This is about half the size of what it's going to be. That they want that in sterling silver, I'll say, okay, I can do that for you, but I have to special order the rings from, I'm not sure Fire Mountain has them, but I know Ring Lord, who is in Canada, has them. But I cannot go to my local bead store and just buy a package of rings like this in sterling silver. So you know. And it would not be cost effective for me to buy the little packages of 5 rings, 100 of them. So, just so you know that I am doing some chainmail, but it is not easy. On another front, my business, the advertising. I've been in touch with a lady who is going to set me up with somebody that can do some SEO for my website. We're going to meet somewhere at some point. I'm going to wait for a call and find out where and when, sometime during the day, so that Chris can bring me there when he's not working. And I know it's about $20 a page to do SEO. And I've done so much of it myself. I've already done the legwork of a lot of it. So they're going to finally go in there and say, okay, you have this, this, and this. This needs to be tweaked. That needs to be tweaked. So it might be cheaper than somebody who's starting from scratch. I'm sure that these people are like, okay, we're going to get you a website and start from scratch and add your stuff. I already have all of my stuff put together. It's just not working together properly. So it's going to be a little bit... It'll still cost per page, but there'll be less work for them to do. So I'm just waiting back to hear about that. The heater is still working. It's warm weather again. I think it hit 75 yesterday, and I did not get out in any of it. I've been eating lunch really late. I've been working on my craft and eating late. So I have not been going out to do exercise, which has to change. But I just feel called right now to do some of these other, like I said, this is not my normal thing. I'm not switching from beads to chain by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just supplementing what I'm doing with some different types of things. So you'll see this on my site, and then after that will be a beading project again, finally. So I realized that last video I did cut off right as I was talking about joyful noise, so I will rehash what I was saying. Basically, I do a weekly broadcast called Joyful Noise on GrooveShark, grooveshark.com. All it is my laptop, and I'm streaming Christian music. Worship, rock, rap, country, hip-hop, electronic dance, as long as the lyrics glorify the name of Jesus, as long as they lift God up, I'm all for it. So my aim is to get a physical location, and right now it'll just be me and my laptop until I can get it hooked up with musicians. Me and my laptop streaming. One day it might be Calling Glory, playing punk or rockabilly. Another day I might be playing an hour or two of Phil Kagi guitar. And someday I want to have a place where I'm selling my jewelry during the day, and at night I turn it over to Joyful Noise and it becomes a Christian club, which is very cliched sounding, but it's going to be a worship center, but not a church. I'm not called personally, just that's my husband's thing. What I'm going to be doing is facilitating a place where musicians can come in and play for however long they want, as long as it glorifies Jesus. As long as God is lifted up, the name of Jesus is lifted up, it can be any style. So right now it's just me and the laptop, and I'm looking for a physical place to do it in. Right now I'm just doing it from my home office. So every night from about 7 to 8, sometimes I do it longer. At grooveshark.com, if you look for Joyful Noise, you'll find my broadcast. And eventually I want to find a place to do it from where people can come sit and listen to it. And I feel called to start this at, this is going to sound really weird and people don't understand it, but a bar, a tavern. It's a vision I had. That's a whole other discussion for another time. So right now it's just me here. grooveshark.com, Joyful Noise. Amy's Handmade Gifts, chainmail. Ouch. Peace out.